Hi, everyone. Roger Connect, President, Universal Accounting Center. I'm with Kristen Corey. She happens to be with ProAdvisor Marketing. She's literally the president and founder of the company. And one of the things that I'd like to do is share with you some of the services that she provides to accounting professionals as we're in the process of marketing and growing our businesses, really to have an online presence. So, Kristen, first of all, let's just kind of start with your background and how you started into the accounting world.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me, Roger. My background is actually in accounting. I got my bachelor's and master's in accounting from Azusa Pacific University, for those of you familiar. After that, I went into public accounting, where I audited government entities. So I went into cities and counties, airports, and got to audit them, and that was fun. But after about a couple years, I actually got the opportunity to move abroad. And I took that as an opportunity to look into some of the other areas of business that I was interested in. And one of those areas was marketing. And kind of through that experience, I did a lot of freelance social media, graphic design, web design, basically anything I can get my hands on, I tested out. And so it was a really interesting opportunity to work with lawyers and people in tech and fashion and all these different industries. And I loved it, but freelance work is not easy. For anyone that's ever done it, they know. But when I came back to the States, I was like, okay, I'm ready to settle down, go back into accounting, have something more stable. And when I came back, I realized in all my interviews, everyone just wanted to talk about my marketing experience. And they wanted me to do marketing for their accounting firm. And I started to realize, okay, this is an issue. And when I went and looked at their website or their social media, I realized they haven't posted anything in a while. They aren't very active. They're still using, software from when I was a kid. What's going on here? And so I saw the demand. And I eventually went to work for ProAdvisor CPA, and I did accounting and marketing for them. And it was an awesome opportunity because I saw that there was a void between the marketing and the accounting. Between that communication and what they were posting. And, the accountants thought this was really important to tell their clients, but the marketing, they're like, people don't care. Let's go. Let's move on. Let's make it pretty. And I was able to really come in and fill that space and be like, no, this is important. This isn't. This is how you tell people.
When you're having that conversation, this is back in the day when you're interviewing for the accounting role, and they obviously talk marketing. What was maybe some of the questions that they were struggling with as accounting professionals? What's the common thing that an accounting professional wants to ask you and get your perspective on?
Yeah, well, they were saying, should I be on social media? TikTok a year ago wasn't really too popular, but now the question would be, should I be on TikTok? That's a popular thing that I think people in more professional kind of conservative industries are asking. Back then it would be, should I have a blog? Is blogging still a thing? Should I be on Instagram? Where should I be and how do I do it? There are some professionals who they're really intelligent. They can tell you everything about the tax code, but I have no idea how to post on Instagram. How do I do that? How do I appeal to people? How do I gain followers? And it was the same question, and they knew what they wanted to say. They just didn't know how or where to say it. And it's different for accounting than it is for, a chef who's posting recipes online. It's different for, universal accounting. You're going to advertise differently than an accountant's going to advertise. And so it's different for everyone, and trying to figure out how it is important.
Yeah, I remember back when Pinterest was becoming popular, and one of the things that was interesting is what we offer as a service is oftentimes difficult to portray in an image. It's not like we can take a picture of a meal, like you said, with a chef, or take a picture of a product and do that product placement type thing. It's really that service that's really ethereal, and what we're trying to do here is try and give it some substance. Well, we've got to find then the marketing medium, the social platform to really kind of embrace and focus on. Is there a particular platform that you feel accounting professionals should identify or target?
I would say LinkedIn. LinkedIn is number one. If you're an accountant that provides services for businesses, the business should be on LinkedIn. If they're not on LinkedIn, then honestly, they may not have enough wherewithal to know they need an accountant. LinkedIn, if you're aiming towards people, if you do taxes for people, LinkedIn they have kind of the highest income. They're more, you're going to get kind of people with stable jobs, people that are career oriented. So they're going to be more reliable. You're going to be able to charge more if you advertise more on LinkedIn. So using your personal profile is good. Using a business profile, you need to, that should be your first priority.
Good. Now, as an accounting professional, one of the things that I think is a common question is, at what point in my business should I look at hiring someone like you as an expert to help me with my social presence or help me with my marketing to generate the leads I need to then acquire new clients? What's that key thing that says, you know what, maybe I need to stop trying to be the jack of all trades as the accountant and literally focus on what I do best while hiring you to do this for us?
Right. Well, I kind of like to relate marketing a lot to accounting because kind of in how it's structured, it is very similar. We've all had that client that comes to you and says, I need an accountant. And you go, oh, okay. And they go, because I'm getting audited next week. And you're like, I'm sorry, what? Or my taxes are due in a month. And we're like, we know, where have you been? And it's kind of like people come to us, but it's like right when the buzzer's about to be called. And marketing, I think people, or specifically the accounting industry, we look at it the same way. We don't go to the marketers until we need more clients. We don't go to the marketers until, we realize our website's outdated. So think about when you need a marketer as when someone would need an accountant. As kind of reasonably early as you can have an accountant, it's the same thing with marketing. As soon as you can start building a community and start building a presence online, the better. And there's packages, whoever you work with for marketing, there's going to be packages for small businesses, single, one-person bookkeepers, but immediately starting to build your brand. Because then when coronavirus happens or, there's a lull in your leads coming in, you're going to be having a community and a following to already call on and say, hey, we're doing a deal, or, whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah, I equate exactly what you're saying in three very distinct ways. The first thing that I always want to say is nothing happens until you make a sale. And for an accounting professional, as good as you are at accounting, bookkeeping, tax, whatever the case may be, as the services you offer, unless you have paying customers, it doesn't matter. So marketing is the forefront of all of that process. The second thing I always want to say, and like you described it, sometimes like accounting, marketing is perceived as that necessary evil. It's like, oh, I've got to do it. Well, in reality, it's a must. It's something that in order for you to be successful, you do have to recognize as an entrepreneur, you've got to put on that marketing hat, that sales hat, get out there and do your part, because it's not something that you do reactively. You have to do proactively. It's a conscious thing. Always have to be doing. And if you're really interested in succeeding, you should always be marketing and selling. And so regardless of what your current client base is, you've got to have your presence in the community, in the business world, and be engaged. And the last thing that I'd add to what you mentioned here is with regards to accounting, it's been seen years ago, even you could say arguably recently, as being a historical kind of let's look at the past type of thing. But now accounting really is becoming more of a immediate now and moving forward kind of a thing that you use in business to really stay relevant and on top of the information you need to make important business decisions. Well, that's the same for marketing. You can't look at marketing as I used to do and I ought to do. When I need it, I'll do it. No, it's got to be an ever present in order for you to be available and ready to take on new clients in the future. It's not a spigot you turn on and off. It's a spigot you can maybe turn down or up, but it's not an on-off spigot. And so with marketing, we've got to do what we can to stay in the community, stay relevant, be that expert, have an influence in the community, be an influencer, right? And so I like how you've described all of this. This is wonderful. So what tip would you have for an accounting professional as they're questioning their marketing in a social or online presence?
Right. So I understand, if you're starting out, you may not be able to afford marketing. Excuse me. So you may be thinking, okay, well, I can only post my own, blog posts. I can only do it on my own. I can't afford to hire a marketer. And similar to accounting, that's fine at the beginning if you keep good records and you're trying to do your research. But eventually, that client's going to come to you, or that person's going to come to you, and you may have QuickBooks and use QuickBooks. But when the professional or the accountant gets in there, they're gonna say, you haven't been utilizing this to its full potential. A marketer is going to come in and say, you haven't really been utilizing, the blogging content, your social media to its full potential. So what I would say is kind of the same thing you would say to someone that wants an accountant or is trying to hire an accountant but can't do the best you can, keep good records, try to do your research. Pro Advisor Marketing, we have tons of free resources where you can kind of go and learn about SEO. You can learn how to do a blog article and kind of learn how to build it up on your own. And then when you can, you have the budget to bring on someone, do that, because they're going to show you how to actually implement SEO and be really efficient with that. So do what you can right now. There's a ton of free resources out there. Pro Advisor Marketing, we put out a ton. But really don't beat yourself up too much. It's okay to be creative in some areas.
That's right. The whole idea here is, in addition to the traditional type things that one might think of when marketing accounting services, such as networking and going to local events and being in the business community, there is something to be said about coming into the 21st century and having an online presence and being involved and being engaged. So I encourage everyone listening here to take advantage of this opportunity to actually now reach out to Kristen and schedule time, meet with her and her team, and see what it is that you can maybe do in your business to leverage some of these different skills or strategies to really become a little bit more involved in your own marketing to generate the leads you need to grow your business. And just realize as you do so, you'll be able to actually build the organization that you intended to have offering the services that you do. So Kristen, any final thoughts that you'd like to share?
No, I mean, just, I know accountants, we're not supposed to be considered creative. Creative accounting is never a good thing. But don't be afraid to, go and try Canva. Don't be afraid to try graphic design or post on social media. Now everyone's online right now. Go out and have fun with it. Try to enjoy it at first. And then when you really need help, give us a call.
Excellent. And for information on how to contact her, look in the description below, and I'll actually put some information there for you to take advantage. I appreciate you, Kristen, taking the time to just have this very casual conversation. I think it's been very beneficial, and I think people will find it informative. So with all that in mind, remember this: if it's about accounting, it is universal. Take care, everybody.